Okay, so I'm Robert Gaskill, and this is Audrey Hitchens,
Hola.
as you may know, some of you. So Audrey here has did how many years did you do gymnastics for?
10.
10?
Ish.
That's a long time.
11, probably.
Okay.
10. Yeah, 10 to 11.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you did gymnastics for 10 years. I guess first, what do you think you learned during gymnastics? Is there anything externally, outside of the realm of just the exercise, that you think you learned?
Externally?
Yeah.
Well, internally, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably how to approach myself with any challenge ever in life. I believe nothing can be harder than gymnastics.
That's
that will and continue to be one of the hardest things I've ever done, physically and mentally.
In this poem by this guy named Francis Ponge, who I'm sure you're familiar with,
Certainly.
he says that the gymnast is the epitome of pretty much human bravery and stupidity. Essentially, that's what it comes down to. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, that's true, because you are being both brave and stupid by doing gymnastics, because you can have life-altering injuries and even life-ending injuries. But is it worth it for just saying that you can do that? Absolutely. That's why people jump off cliffs, because it's stupid. But you have to be brave to do that. So, people only consider it stupid when you get injured. So.
What are some of the effects on you mentally when it comes to gymnastics? Do you regret it?
I don't regret any ounce of gymnastics. It definitely had a very extreme mental toll on me, and physically as well. My kneecaps are permanently damaged, very prone to dislocations and muscle strains and injuries as someone who's continuing their athletic career. That's why gymnasts end their career usually early.
Yeah.
When it comes to mental health, falling into body insecurity and depression immediately after, because you're spending so many hours in the gym. Bodily insecurity, definitely most, probably.
Do you think that was more because of the gymnastics itself as a culture, or do you think that that's more due to the morals and the issues with the coaches?
Both.
Okay.
I think it's both. The culture itself, when it comes to performative sports, including dance and gymnastics and cheerleading, primarily female sports, is because there's so much emphasis on how you look, because you are technically performing for people. And we used to have weigh-ins when I was from the ages of from the ages of 10 till I was 14 at the gymnastics place I was at. But also the gymnastics place I was at in New Hampshire was a completely different culture than it was in Pennsylvania, and that's due to because of how serious it was. So the more serious levels you get at, the more emphasis there is on body image and mental prosperity.
Okay. Speaking of body image, throughout the poem, the male gymnast in this story, which I don't know if that was rare for the time, and this would be around the 30s to 40s.
No.
He's described in a very condescending way as having a goofy long mustache that goes up to his eyebrow. He's described as being less daft than a monkey and being pinker than usual.
Endearing.
Yeah. That is to say, do you think that there's difference in the levels to which these mental strains, abuse, etc. might be experienced for a male gymnast as opposed to a female?
Yes.
And do you think that it's gotten better or worse over time?
Probably better. Hopefully. At least in female gymnastics, I feel like it's gotten better ever since sexual assault allegations from the male doctor during the Olympics, Larry Nassar.
Yes.
So people are definitely keeping a close eye on female gymnastics. I'm not really sure about men's gymnastics, to be honest. I feel like now there are some stereotypes initiated with men's gymnastics. Same with dance as well. And I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like men's gymnastics during that time period was meant to be performative, same way that you would go and see an animal at the zoo.
That makes sense because it honestly does describe him throughout the poem as more of an acrobat at a circus.
An acrobat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gymnastics now is more about the athleticism and like strength. And I feel like men's gymnastics is definitely still about that. Like men's gymnastics has evolved to, I mean, more like specific categories, but
it's shifted and
it is at the core about the athleticism and performative aspects of showing off that athleticism. That's why men's gymnastics isn't like women's gymnastics is like we dance and we have like routines and music and stuff like that. They're like men's gymnastics has like an event that's just like holding on to rings and doing flips on rings, just pure upper body strength. So
that's interesting.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's like watching an animal at a zoo. I don't think it's like that anymore, but yeah.
It definitely, these definitely, the things you're saying are definitely adding context to and also almost recontextualizing certain things about the poem and how Ponge himself views and has the gymnast speak for himself. The interesting thing about that poem is most of Ponge's writings are about inanimate objects speaking for themselves, things he views as being unable to talk and what they would say.
I mean, if you think about it, a performer is not able to talk.
Yeah, they're
being objectified in the sense that they're performing for others.
Yeah. They're seen as a form of entertainment,
yes,
as opposed to a human.
So it is. Yes. Like,
all right.
Gymnasts don't speak.
No, they don't. Yeah, that's actually a good point you've made. I've watched footage with you and outside of you for this project, and that is one thing I have actually noticed. Not a word is uttered from a gymnast's mouth in any of those videos, be that now or
beyond people cheering
90
like
years
their own
ago.
Teammates, but the person and it's also an individual sport.
True. All right, is there anything else you'd like to add? All right, thank you.